5'11".
All right, how germy, is that a word?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
How germy are those toys in waiting rooms of your kid's doctor's office? Come to think of it, how many sick people have touched all those old magazines, you know, from like 1998 sitting on the table? Maybe the doctor's office isn't so clean after all.
Oh, thank you so much. Joining us on the KOGO News Live Line is reporter Tricia Holderman. And Tricia, there are probably a lot of parents who feel like their kid comes down with something after they go to the doctor for a checkup, and it turns out they might be.
They probably did. There are so many places in a waiting room for children to catch any kind of germ. And again, keep in mind, some of these germs last for up to 48 hours. So that's had 48 hours to accumulate how many germs from how many different people. And it's all the areas where people are touching it the most or sneezing. And as you know, kids don't always cover their nose when they're sneezing. So, you know, they're sneezing on the toys, the magazines, the coffee tables. They're just sneezing on everything.
And so the doctors aren't, you know, kind of Lysoling everything at night?
Yeah, there's a misnomer about that. So the problem with just cleaning everything is the first time somebody touches something, it's reinfected. So all the cleaning that we do, there are some products that we put down that will prevent them from growing and from living, but the first time somebody puts other germs on there, it's not. It's just reinfected. And so we're telling people it's everything. Keep in mind, we're talking about pens. When you go to sign in at the register desk, that pen has been touched by how many people? And cleaning companies are not cleaning those pens. It's not part of their job description. So I can assure you they're not getting done. So what you want to do is bring your own pen when you come in to write, or if you're working on a kiosk when you're coming in to register, wipe down the kiosk keys. There's nothing wrong with doing that. The problem with using Lysol, too, is that if people have an upper respiratory infection, the Lysol is just going to just bug that even worse. So bring the wipe, take care of the sanitizer, use it as much as you can. Try not to play with any of the toys. If your kids are in there and they've got great toys in the waiting room, play with your own toys. Read your own magazines, read your own books, carry your own pens. Those kinds of things are going to keep yourself healthier and safer from those germs that are sitting there.
Well, you know, Tricia, also, we've always heard that you should let kids get these viruses because it builds up their immune system.
You know, and it does. Don't get me wrong, but let them do it while they're still healthy. So when there is a big flu breakout, you want to prevent them from being so susceptible to those. And there's so many of those germs out there. So what you want to do is keep building their system prior to these breakouts, not actually during a breakout. You know, that's why we tell people, sanitize your hands 1,000 times when there's breakouts. But the rest of the time of the year, yeah, don't do it so much. Let your system build up. But keep in mind, kids' systems are not built. And the more that they get sick like this kind of stuff, it actually does have some effect of tearing down your system.
Well, you know, and you take a look at what's happened here in Southern California more recently with the measles outbreak, where a family would come down with the measles, or they thought they had measles, and they would waltz into a doctor's office. We've had, I think, two doctor's offices or two urgent care centers that had to be shut down because people took their measles kids in there, and it's so contagious that everybody in there was then susceptible to getting measles. So this is a problem not just with the common cold, but with more serious disease as well.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, the whole Ebola thing kind of awakened up the general public to understanding how quickly something can move and how deadly something can be. And I will say, I think the flu season this year, more people understood how quickly and how easily you can get something, and they were taking more precautions. I saw a lot more people wearing masks this year than I have in any other year. So I think people get that. I think we've ingrained it in them that you have to protect yourself because the general public isn't going to be doing everything for you. So take care of yourself. And one of the things that everybody thinks about sneezing into your elbow is that is to prevent you from sneezing outwards. Well, think of it in a different way. Think of it as your hands have touched 1,000 things. Do not put your hand next to your face.
Interesting. All right, reporter Tricia Holderman, take your own pen to the doctor's office and don't play with the toys.
Don't play with the toys. Gosh darn it. KOGO News Time, 5:16. Here are the stories trending in San Diego. Hundreds of Charger fans turned out for their chance to voice ID.